You're listening to the Team Stripes podcast.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to episode 72 of the Team Stripes podcast. It's proudly sponsored by Acme Whistles, helping you make the big call since 1870. The legendary Acme Thunderer is now available in matte black. Acme Whistles, proudly associated with the NHL since 1917. Ross, how are you today?
Dude, I am trying to catch up on some sleep. It was a long weekend of youth hockey here. Worked 11 games, 5 on Saturday, so I'm pretty dead, and I know you worked some games too.
Yeah, I ended up doing 14 games on between Saturday, Sunday, and then today and Monday. I went 6, 5, and 3.
There you go.
My feet are feeling it, and I am exhausted. I can't wait to have a little nap here, but at the end of the day, I get to sleep in tomorrow. So
yeah, when we get done recording, I'm gonna go back to sleep because unfortunately I have 2 games tonight at 9:45 and 11. Yeah, not too thrilled about it. Tried to get them covered. Somebody responded and it was like, yeah, I'll do them, and then emailed me back just a little bit ago and say, oh, hey, sorry, I can't do them. So
those are the worst because you're like, oh, sick, got him covered, good to go, and then it's just like,
yeah,
oh, nope, just kidding.
yeah, I should have said, oh, sorry, dude, it's on you.
No, what I've started to do on tournament weekends like this is knowing that there's going to be adult league hockey. I will set my availability so like I'm done at whatever 2 in the afternoon or and today I was done at noon so I could head over to class. But because like we've had, I mean, we can trade games and we've had so many emails of guys like, hey, can you skate this game? Can you skate this game? And it's like, nope, like no, thank you.
Yeah, so it's just rookie move on my part to not block out the day after tournament. So, and our tournament was interesting. Had a match penalty yesterday for homophobic slur. Had a major game board. You know, just the typical youth hockey stuff.
I thankfully avoided most of that. I think out of the 14 games, we only had to throw out one parent in my 14 games. And
well, that's one more than I threw out. So
yeah, and we had one major game for knee.
Oh, fun!
And that was it. I mean, like I've seen issues out, you know, and hearing stories from other guys, but my 14 games were pretty easy.
And we also had a major game head contact on Saturday night.
Nice.
That was really fun. The kid got basically stood up, but the hit was high, definitely direct contact to the head. But then when the kid went back, he fell backwards and bounced his head off the ice. So he was night-night for a couple of minutes. It was pretty scary, to be honest. But yeah, like I was line in that one. I went right to the 2 ref and I was like, major game, no questions asked, we're done here. See you, bud.
Yeah, those are the easy ones at least.
Yep, for sure. So we have a lot going on. No guests this week, but you know, we're just gonna talk some NHL stuff and maybe a little officiating, but man, free agent frenzy was crazy. The draft was long. We had, I think, almost every team pick up – well, not almost every team, but most teams played the goalie shuffle.
Yep.
So we had goalies going everywhere. We had a couple of surprises as far as, like for me, Tyler Johnson getting put on waivers by the Lightning, but he really doesn't fit anymore because of their cap situation. Just a bunch of craziness going on in the National Hockey League this last week since we last talked.
I was just say it's definitely been a wild week. We had the draft. First round was on Tuesday. Lafreniere obviously got picked first overall to the Rangers. As far as the draft go, I mean, I think the first round went really well considering, you know, all things to be considered with it being virtual, and it's obviously challenging. The second round, though, or second through seventh round was on the next day, so it would have been the Wednesday. And I don't know why, but the second round took like something like 2 hours. And I have no clue why I wasn't watching it. I was
I
just
guess
following it on Twitter.
if it took that long, I would just guess that each team went to their maximum allowable time trying to shop deals. That'd be my best guess.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. All I know is the guys that the Flames picked up. I thought they were all good pickups, so I'm happy with how the draft went as a fan. I mean, it's
Well,
the draft.
it's the draft. Your scouting department does their job. You hope you get better. Usually, you don't get any worse.
You
So,
hope.
I know. Yeah, you hope. I know the Lightning picked up some good picks. So we'll see what happens with this draft class. Obviously, Lafreniere being the big ticket item. He signed his entry level contract today. He's going to wear number 13 for the Rangers. I think you said his deal's worth what, $13 million?
It was $11 million. It was
$11 million. So good
yeah.
for that kid. Worked his tail off to get to the NHL. Got first overall pick money. So he's already on his way. So good for you, Alex Lafreniere. I can't wait to see this kid play in the National Hockey League.
I was just say he is going to be sick on a line with Panarin or Capacao, however you say his other name.
Oh, Capo.
Yeah, like if that's your top line, that's a sick top line.
Yeah, the Rangers got a lot better real quick.
Yep. I think as long as their goaltending holds up, which they have the two younger guys.
Yeah, I was just going to say, speaking of, the Rangers, we got to talk about the King of New York moving to now being the King of Washington, D.C.
Yeah, he signed. Let me pull it up here.
Just 1 year, $1.5 million.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, just 1 year, $1.5 million for King Henry.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have a president in D.C. and we also have a king. So,
yeah, I'm kind of curious as to why he went to Washington.
I think they give him his best chance to win.
Yeah, that's fair.
Of the teams that were looking for that veteran older goaltender to, sit back up, maybe play, a third of the games, or, that was the best fit for him. So it was funny because I saw a couple of memes were like, well, most of the Rangers players end up coming to the Lightning, so come on down, Henrik. We'll make room for you.
I don't think they could have made room no matter what, just with their cap space.
We have no room. The one nice thing is we did get to re-sign Pat Maroon, so the big rig's going to stay in Tampa. We lost Kevin Shattenkirk. We're losing Tyler Johnson, losing a couple others. They're in a situation where if a team were to come in with an offer sheet on like Sergachev or Sorelli, they'd be screwed.
Speaking of guys, or teams losing guys, we had a few more buyouts of note since we last talked. We had Detroit buyout Justin Abelkader, who had, I believe it was
his stock's just been going down. He's not the player he used to be. It just is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, he had a really good few years, and then like you said, he just kind of fizzled out. Now, granted, Detroit's in a rebuild, so
yeah. Well, and then in Detroit, I saw they signed Vlad Nemestikov, who was a Lightning player. Steve Yzerman drafted him to the Lightning. So when I saw that signing, I was like, oh, that makes sense. Yzerman bringing in one of the guys that he drafted, a kid that he likes. Detroit fans, trust in the Yzer plan. It will pay off. It won us a Stanley Cup here in Tampa a couple years after that we thought we would win it, but we did finally get that Stanley Cup. So Detroit will be a contender again. Just give it a couple of years, and Steve Yzerman's going to work his magic.
Yeah, I agree. And to go back to the buyouts, Nashville also bought out the last 4 years of Kyle Turris's contract.
Yep. And then he went up to So, and then he went up to Edmonton, right?
Yeah, I believe so. And
So
then
Kyle Turris is an interesting kid because, like, I remember when it was his draft year, which I think was like 06, 07 ish, 08. He's around my age, and I just remember everyone like, oh, this kid's the next big thing, and then he just never turned into that.
I was going to say he
So,
was drafted 3rd overall in 2007 by Arizona.
yeah. So, like, everyone thought, okay, this kid's going to be pretty damn good, and then he just never panned out. And I thought, the situation with him going to Nashville was going to work out for him, being on the competitive team, and then Nashville just kind of fell flat on their face. So now going up to Edmonton, playing with Draisaitl and McDavid, you put Kyle Turris and McDavid together. Whew.
I was going to say, because he's not a bad player by any
No,
stretch.
he's a really good hockey player. He's just never really had that other guy to play with.
Yeah, and now you have Mr. Connor McDavid or Draisaitl.
Two of the best hockey players in the world,
Yeah. Columbus also bought out Alexander Wenberg. I believe, is a D-man. They bought out the last 3 years of his contract. Columbus is doing something, and I don't know what, but Columbus is doing something this offseason.
Some weird moves, right?
Yeah. And then one last buyout we had was Corey Schneider of the Devils getting bought out the last 2 years of his contract.
Who'd they pick up to be their number one?
I don't think anybody currently.
Or are they going with the kids?
I think they're kind of going with the rebuild kids. I haven't seen them pick up anybody unless I've missed it.
Gotcha.
But with Corey Schneider, he's 34. His last, I think, 2 or 3 years, like, he hasn't been playing at all just because of injuries, and when he has played, he hasn't played.
Yeah, he had that. Didn't he have like that one good run and then got paid, and then now he just hasn't been that good since?
Yeah, he had a really good run in Vancouver, went over to the Devils, signed it was a 6x6 contract for the Devils.
Mm-hmm. And then just didn't pan out.
Yeah, it just hadn't worked out, unfortunately, for him. I don't think he'll get signed up anywhere else because to me, I think most teams have a goaltender right now.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, he might sit out on the free agent market for a little while.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up retiring. I mean, maybe not this season per se, but retiring come, a year or two from now, maybe he gets into the media, whatever. As for the Jackets, though, making wild and crazy moves, they had a big trade. They acquired Mr. Max Domi and a 2020 third-round pick for forward Josh Anderson with the Montreal Canadiens. Both of those guys, they got traded, signed big contracts with the teams. It was Max Domi signed a 2-year, $10.6 million deal with the Columbus Blue Jackets, and Josh Anderson signed a 7-year, $38.5 million contract.
Wow.
I think Domi's going to love playing it down in Columbus. I think he fits in perfectly.
He's already been around a few different teams, right?
This would be very long. This would be his third team.
Yeah, because he started in Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he went Arizona to Montreal. I mean, I don't think it's him. I just think he wasn't. Apparently, there's a rumor that he didn't fit with Michel Therrien very well. Him and Therrien kind of bumped heads, which is, I mean, that's fine, not a big deal. But I think he will thrive under John Tortorella because he plays his style of game.
He plays a game that Tortorella likes.
Mm-hmm. And then Josh Anderson going up to Montreal, I think is huge for them. I mean, Josh Anderson's a great player.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know a whole lot about him though, because I mean it's Columbus. I don't watch a whole lot of their games. But if he's getting paid $35 million over 7 years, he's obviously worth something.
Yeah, for
As
sure.
well as trades, we were talking about the goaltender carousel. We had the Ottawa Senators, I would say, finally found a true starting young goaltender that they can kind of carry on their franchise for the next few years, picking up Matt Murray for a 2020 second-round pick and a forward in Jonathan Gruden.
Yeah. Well, Matt Murray just wasn't the guy anymore in Pittsburgh. Like, he won him a couple of cups. We got some dogs stopping in to say hello. He won him a couple of cups, but he's just not the GM's guy, so to speak. And they're running with Yossi, right? Is the kid's name?
No, Tristan Jarry.
Or Tristan Jarry. Sorry. Tristan Jarry, I guess, kind of won that job from him. And I was kind of hoping when Murray got traded to Ottawa, Pittsburgh would turn around and make a deal with Vegas and bring Fleury back.
Yeah,
who in Pittsburgh wouldn't love that?
I think everybody would love that. But, I mean, Tristan Jarry won the starting job probably halfway through last season, if not in the playoffs the year prior.
Mm-hmm.
It's another case of Fleury and Murray. You know, Murray beat out Fleury in the playoffs one year, took over the job. Fleury leaves. Fleury still has a fabulous career in Vegas. All the, hats off. And so I think Matt Murray's going to do that exact same thing. And I think he makes the Ottawa Senators a lot better.
It's just going to be interesting to see what Matt Murray does, is if he gets back to the stud that he was when he first came in, or does he just is he just average, and then maybe Ottawa overpaid him, so we'll see.
But I don't know if he ever lost his edge.
Goalies are funky like that. Like, they can have a good couple of years, get hot, win you a couple Stanley Cups, and then disappear the rest of their career.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case with Matt Murray. I mean, I don't think he ever truly lost the starting job in Pittsburgh. I think just Tristan Jarry played a little bit better. I mean, and at the end of the day, you go with who's ever hotter at the time, and Jarry played lights out, and he won the starting job. But I think Murray's got tons of playing years left, and he's going to make Ottawa a good team. Comes in to help Craig Anderson.
Ottawa is already better with their draft and a couple of the moves they made, so they're trying.
Mm-hmm.
I give them credit. So hope, and then obviously too, they went back to their OG sweaters.
Yeah, I love those.
Which kind of scares me, because those OG sweaters that first year they only won like 8 games.
Yeah, but they're I mean, I like the logo at least.
Yeah,
I think they're just clean and easy.
Going back to the 2D logo, good idea for them.
We also had the Wild pick up Nick Bonino from the Nashville Predators. The Wild received Nick Bonino, a 2020 second-round pick and a 2020 fourth-round pick in exchange for a prospect and a 2020 third-round pick. Mm-hmm. Nick Bonino's going to go and hopefully score goals in Minnesota, because they have not been able to do that for a while.
Yep. And then they also traded away Devin Dubnyk to San Jose.
Yes.
The Wild did.
Yep. So while they're retooling, I guess would be the right way to put it, it'll be interesting to see how they are next year. To stick on the trades, though, one that stuck out to me was Mr. Paul Stastny returning to the Winnipeg Jets.
To the Peg.
Yeah, he's going back to Winnipeg. The Vegas Golden Knights picked up a conditional 2022 fourth-round pick. I don't know what the condition is. My guess says it is something to do
related or points related.
Yeah, my guess is it's either point related or it's games played, or if he re-signs, something like that. And then the Jets, or not the Jets, I'm sorry, Golden Knights got a D-man, Carl Dahlstrom.
No clue.
I think I want to say I heard the name once in the bubble. So I think he's kind of like a seventh, eighth D man right now. I mean, Vegas is still pretty stacked for
Yeah, they just
it
dumped
is.
Stasny to get rid of some salary.
Yeah.
That's really what it was.
So I got the conditional right here, hopefully, and it is. Before I find that, because I'm not going to be able to find that, the Colorado Avalanche and the Chicago Blackhawks also made a trade. In one that was kind of surprising to me, the Avalanche sent defenseman Nikita Zadorov and Anton Lindholm to the Blackhawks in exchange for Dennis Gilbert and Brandon Saad.
Well, that's Colorado making a couple of little. I think it's a good move for them to get a guy that's been there because they kind of had the wheels fall off the bus.
Yeah, I think that makes them.
And they're on the cusp, like they're right there.
Yeah, I think it makes Colorado better. I think they kind of lack that, not toughness, but just that little grit and
just a veteran in the room.
Yeah, a little bit of sandpaper.
Playoffs. Yeah.
And Zadorov is gonna slide right on into Chicago and run that decor. I mean, he's a big body.
Mm-hmm.
As far as trades go, that is, I mean, there's been other trades. Those are just the few that have stuck out to me.
Yeah.
So if we missed your team's trade, like I promise I saw it. It's either minor leaguer from minor leaguer or it's, some picks, like not a big deal. But now we have to talk about free agency. Free agency opened on Friday. And on Friday, there was a total of 81 signings for total contract years of 137. And the total amount of dollars was $304 million worth of contracts handed out, which is insane.
Not bad.
So we already talked about Domi getting 2 years at 10.6. Jesse Puljujarvi re-signed finally with the Oilers at 2 years at $2.35 million. To me, that's a great pickup for the Oilers. They've been struggling to get him back. I think he sat out most of last year. He was just contract disputes. It is what it is. But let me see.
Yeah, and it looks like Alex Pietrangelo's going to the Knights.
Is that confirmed or?
No, I'm just saying that's what it looks like. And then we had Taylor Hall go to Buffalo, which was kind of a surprise on a 1-year deal.
Yeah, it's like $8 million too.
More goalies kind of shuffled around. So yeah, obviously Lundqvist, and then Holtby went out to Vancouver. Mike Smith went back to the Oilers. Louis Domingue went to the Flames. Like goalies just jumping all over the place. Like the free agent signings were fast. Not the bigger deals have kind of taken a little bit longer, but it definitely has been a wild free agency as far as the amount of signings in one day.
Yeah, we saw Tyler Toffoli today sign a 4-year, $17 million deal with the Habs. I think that's a great pickup for the Habs. Vancouver's just letting all these older guys walk, which is understandable. They're trying to go to the youth movement.
Yep.
You already mentioned Taylor Hall, 1 year, $8 million. I really want to know why he picked Buffalo.
Who knows?
I mean, like, I really don't understand why he was like, hey, you know what? Like, I want to go to Buffalo. Not in the sense of the city's bad or anything like that, but like
maybe he just wants to play with Eichel.
That team is bad. And I mean, Taylor Hall's going to it. Who knows? Yeah, he's going to play with Eichel. Maybe they can do something, but it's unlikely in my opinion. But
yeah,
he's going there for at least 1 year. I'm guessing he signed it for a year that, if it doesn't work out, he can leave and no issue. We
Yeah.
also had Jimmy Vesey sign with the Toronto Maple Leafs on a 1 year, $900,000.
One of my favorite names in the
Really?
NHL now. I just like his name, Jimmy Vesey. Like it just like rolls off your tongue.
That's fair. He hasn't really panned out, has he?
No, he's just got a cool name.
Yeah, because wasn't he was a high first round pick, and he just
Something
hasn't
like that.
panned out. Kyle Clifford is on a 2-year, $2 million total deal, went over to the St. Louis Blues. I don't know why the Blues would sign him or pick him up. I mean, that team's probably the oldest team in the NHL, maybe besides Boston at this point.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Radek Vaska got paid by the Dallas Stars at a 5-year, $16.25 million deal. Good for him. I love watching him play down here in Dallas. He's fun to watch, and he's good. He's going to be in Dallas for a while, and if you're a Stars fan, that's something to look forward to at least.
Mm-hmm.
Zach Bogosian went to the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Davi stayed in Dallas. So
Yep.
you got to pick your goaltending duo.
Yeah, they have a lot of money now tied up in 2 goaltenders, though, which is risky, in my opinion.
Whatever.
James Van Riemsdyk went over to the Capitals for a 1-year deal. Nothing crazy there.
Yeah, he didn't really do that much going back to Philly.
No, I mean, he's kind of on the downside of his career. He's still a solid D-man, but he's definitely on the downside of his career. Valerie Nichushkin, after not panning out here in Dallas, went over to Denver, Colorado, and he just re-upped at a 2-year deal with them. No money on that to come out yet, but good on him there. So Cody Eakin going to Buffalo, 2 years, $4.5 million deal. Makes Buffalo a little bit better. Gives them a solid second-line centerman, great PK specialist. I've always been a fan of Cody Eakin. Nothing wild. And I think
I was gonna say, I think that really kind of wraps up like all the craziness, right?
Not quite, because I'm still confused on why Tyson Berry signed a 1-year deal to go to the Edmonton Oilers.
Off my radar.
Yeah, I mean, Tyson Berry left.
I didn't realize he was still around.
I believe he was in Toronto.
I don't know.
He was either in Toronto or Colorado, one of the two. No, he was in Colorado. And, I mean, 1-year deal, goes to the Oilers. I think the Oilers are trying to make a big push this year. Who knows if that's going to work. Torrey Krug going to St. Louis, though. And boy, oh boy, did he get paid in St. Louis. He got a 7-year, $45.5 million contract.
Oh, yeah, and his former teammates at the Bruins weren't too happy about him leaving.
No, but, I mean, look, go get your money.
Yep.
Boston couldn't give him that money, unfortunately, and St. Louis could. So all the power to him. He's going to do great there. One last signing that jumped out to me, though, was Jacob Markstrom going to the Flames at a 6-year, $36 million deal. As a Flames fan, love that.
And staying in, in the division, giving a kind of a big FU to the Canucks. So we'll see how he does there. I mean, getting the Canadian teams better is always a good thing. So
yeah,
because one of these days, the Canadian team's gonna win the cup again.
Well, I think, and this is definitely not biased by any means, but I think the Flames are maybe 1 or 2 pieces away finally.
Yeah.
I
would say the Flames and the Oilers are the 2 closest.
Yeah, maybe Toronto if they can figure it out. But I mean, the Flames picking up Markstrom is just huge in net for them. They now have 3 goalies that I would say are NHL caliber, and Jacob Markstrom, Dave Riddick, and they also picked up Louis Domingue. Markstrom's contract, though, 6 years, and I believe he's 30. So I mean, that's a little bit scary as a fan, just because in theory you have him for the rest of his career. But if he lives up to the hype, I am down for it. And then Kevin Shattenkirk is going over to the Ducks on a 3-year deal at $11.7 million. I think that's a great pickup for Anaheim. They need a guy like him to mentor the young guys.
And here in Tampa, we just didn't have the room. So
yeah, and I mean, he goes over to
service. Thanks for scoring a couple of big goals, helping us get that Stanley Cup.
Yeah, and I mean, he goes over to Anaheim, who are in the middle of a rebuild, and he's able to teach the young guys how to be a pro and how to ultimately win the cup, and I think that's huge. So I think that is it, though, for the free agent market, at least the big ones, in my opinion. There was obviously, I think we've had 150 contracts signed in the past 4 days, so it's been absolutely bananas. I mean, this is my favorite time of the year, if we're being honest. If you take away the Stanley Cup Finals and all that, like, free agency is awesome. It's insane. Just seeing guys get paid and guys just shuffle around.
Yep, for sure. Well, and two, you're just always interested in seeing what teams are trying to do to get better. So I know the Lightning have a lot of work ahead of them with the salary cap. So
I believe they're under it now, though, correct?
No.
They're still above it?
Yeah.
By how? Like, a lot?
A decent amount. I think we got to unload one more contract, and we still got to re-sign. Well, I think they're under it, but they're not under it enough to be able to re-sign Sergachev and Sorelli and a couple other guys.
So they are under it by $2.895 million, and they need to re-sign Shirelli, Sergachev, and then Eric Cernak.
Oh, Cernak, yep.
And then that will be, I believe they'll have enough. Yeah, that'll be 12. That'll be 12 forwards, 6 D-man, and 2 goaltenders. So,
yeah, they got to find somebody to take either Tyler Johnson or, if they got to unload like Killorn, which I'm 50-50 on, to be honest with him. I don't know. We'll see.
Those are just, I mean, Johnson has a no-move trade clause.
Well, that's why they ended up having to waive him.
Yeah, and then Killorn has a
most of the team
modified.
has. Well, yeah, and most of the team have those contracts. So,
Yeah.
And then there were some people saying, "Oh, we should trade Stamkos," and I was like, "Get out of here."
Yeah, I wouldn't definitely. I would either get rid of Killorn or Johnson, but the issue is the money. I think for a lot of the teams with the flat cap. I mean, at $5 million a year for Johnson and Killorn's 4.4, and Johnson obviously has to agree with the trade with the no movement clause, and then
Well, that's why they waived him, because once if a team claimed him off waivers, he has no say. So now he's on. Now he's down. He's going to play. Yeah, he's going to be playing for Syracuse this year.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Making $5 million or $4 million chilling in the minors.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Yeah,
I think Killorn has the best chance of getting moved.
I don't think they'll do it, though. Like, he was such a big part of the team this year after, whatever happened last season. But who knows? Like, again, Julian will work his magic. And,
he'll do something.
Yep. I think that's about it, though. I think we kind of covered everything. We don't really have any referee-related or anything else kind of stuff to talk about.
Ooh, except for the fact that our new whistles came in finally.
Oh, yeah, true. Yep. So we do have the matte black Team Stripes Acme Thunder whistles in stock. So if you want one, check out the store.
And let me tell you,
they're sharp looking.
Yeah, I broke one of my whistles this weekend. I took a shot right off the whistle, thankfully. and it broke my beautiful Acme whistle. And so I picked up 2 because I obviously grabbed my backup because it was middle of the game. So I felt it like hit my whistle, and I was like, oh no, this might be broken. I look at it, it's got like a crack down the back. I'm like, okay, this is probably broken, but let's try. So I reach into my other pocket to grab my backup whistle because obviously good officials carry 2 whistles.
Yep.
Pull out a Fox 40 whistle.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh no, like this is, oh no. So go to blow the Acme
I've
whistle.
never used one.
Blew it, didn't work. So I hammer the whistle with the Fox 40. I unfortunately had to use that the rest of this weekend. And I will tell you,
they're not bad. They're not bad whistles.
No, I hate it because you can't hammer the whistle. Like when there's a scrum out front of the net, you cannot hammer the whistle.
I was just trying to avoid trashing them that bad.
Nope. After using them, like I don't know how I got this whistle. I must have picked it up somewhere, but it's kind of one of those things where it's a backup whistle. You never have to use it, right? Well, I had to use it. So I picked up 2 of the ones with the Team Stripes logo on them. I'm excited for them to get here. They look good. And that would not be possible without our sponsors at Acme Whistles. So huge thank you to those guys. They are awesome whistles. Look, Acme's the way to go. 100,000% Acme.
And they come in matte black. Come on.
And the matte black looks sick. When they first came out, like I was a little like, I don't know if I like it. And then I saw it and I was like, those are gorgeous. And ever since then I wanted one. Finally had the reason to buy one. But I think with that, today's episode's kind of done. We didn't have an interview because there was just so much hockey going on. Me and Ross were busy all week, so we couldn't really sit down and have an interview just with having so many hockey games this weekend. But make sure to follow us at Go Team Stripes on all social medias. Subscribe to us on YouTube. We're super close to 1,000 subscribers. That would be awesome to hit that within the next week or 2. And as always, check out the masterclass of the Team Stripes Academy masterclass put on by Don Koharski. And have a great week, guys. Ross?
Yep. Sounds good, bud. I will catch you later. Sorry, I think I got an email for somebody working my games tonight. So
you just got the best news of your day.
I did. All right. Well, on that note, everybody, thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to 2 referees talk about non-referee related stuff. Probably a little boring at times, but got to talk about it because it is hockey. It's exciting. We all love the game. That's why we put on the Stripe sweater. So we'll catch you guys next week. Hopefully we'll have a good guest. I know we got some people lined up. We just got to coordinate some schedules to make it happen. Got some people that I think everyone's going to be interested in hearing from. So that's all I got.
Yeah. As always, guys, thanks for listening. See you next week.